Hello and welcome to video number 2. Now in the first video I asked you to consider a strategy change, modifying your strategy. I'm not asking you to change today, but you have to understand the strategy you have only got you to where you are and not where you want or need to be. So the first thing about a strategy is you have to determine what is winning, where it is you want to go. Then you have to ask yourself an honest question. Will my strategy get me there? Now there are 5 competitive forces that every firm competes against for profits and clients. Let's talk about these 5 forces. Now in some industries, rivals are the premier competitor. With some, it's the negotiating power of buyers, in your case clients. Some, it's the negotiating power of suppliers, such as Google and Facebook. Some, it's alternatives, people deciding not to even take action. And the last, it's the threat of new entry, such as a new attorney or a new firm getting into your market, further diluting the client pool. Now in marketing, I get hit by all 5. I'm constantly reevaluating my strategy. Remember the formula from the last video. Profit equals price minus cost. Now as we go through each of these forces, you have to continually ask yourself the question, how do rivals cost me? Because they do cost you. But there's a very real way you can beat them. And if you don't have a strategy for each, it answers the question why you will not reach your profit goals. So up until this point, you've been waking up every morning trying to build new clients and your firm's profits. And did you honestly know who you were competing against? Now, if you can answer that question, then you can ask yourself the next question. That's, does my strategy beat this force? Now, you have to do this for each of the forces. The truth is, all the wonderful technology in the world has to work in concert with these time-tested principles because people don't change. Any technology, including ours, has to compete against these 5 forces. Every industry is different. Some industries, like automotive, they compete against other dealerships. There really isn't a lot of alternatives. The vast majority of profits they lose are to other dealerships, their rivals. So as we go through this, remember the formula. Profits are equal to price minus cost. How do rivals affect your profits? So if you have a tense rivalry, you pass off profits in the form of lower fees or additional services. Lower fees, additional services equals lower profits. So does your strategy effectively beat your rivals? Let me tell you how we do it. First and foremost, we can track people on a daily basis, in real time, and we can identify these prospects by name. The people actively pursuing a product which we sell. So we can find them first before our rival does. Like I said in the last video, if you are first, you have control. You can frame their perspective. You set what the value is. Everything that comes after you is now compared to you. Now in the next video, I will tell you the 2 things that at the precise moment a prospect is ready to say yes, that you, as the lawyer, can be the one that receives that yes. You will have those 2 things, and I'll explain them in the next video. But when you're first, you have the ability to control perspective. Secondly, we provide the data in the form of ownership. Now, if you own the data, you can start having conversations with prospects. I never recommend ad campaigns. People don't buy from ads, they buy from people. You have to think in terms of relationship. And you have to build that relationship before they buy what you're trying to sell them. Now, if you own and control the data, you can target that prospect and have conversations with them on multiple platforms about multiple topics as often as you want and for as long as you want and need. You develop a relationship. You do this the same way you would do face-to-face, and you can do this digitally because you own the data. We are the first person to start that conversation with that prospect. You can help them by building trust because trust is at the heart of every relationship. If you are first, you don't have to immediately start selling your firm, but what you can do is help them with their problem. Once they're familiar with their problem, then they will know what solution to choose. Now, if you're the one educating them on their problem, that you're the expert in because you have the solution, then you will have their trust since you were the one helping them. Marketing is not about programs, it's about relationships. Marketing is dialogue, not monologue. Even though you're advertising to them, you're having a conversation with them via your collateral, your landing pages, your websites. This is a mental conversation going on. Right now, you're having a mental conversation with me. What's happening right now is a dialogue, not a monologue. Your goal in marketing is not to make a claim about your company, but it's about helping your prospect foster a conclusion, helping them see what they don't see, to understand what they don't understand, so that they can make that smart decision. In your case, buying the services that you're the expert in offering to them. If you're the person helping them, educating them, they're going to choose you. There's one other thing besides having a relationship when the prospect is ready to say yes, and I'll get into that on the next video. But remember, in order to beat rivals, it's simple. You have to be first, you have to develop a relationship, you have to build trust by helping them first, because prospects don't care about you. They care about one of two things. A, they have a problem they no longer want, or B, there's a solution they're seeking and have not found. At this very moment, I'm building trust with you. We're slowly building a relationship. I'm not asking you to buy anything from me. I'm helping you identify and fix your problem. And this is how you beat rivals. Powerful suppliers. You're competing against suppliers. Now, we'll take Google and Facebook. If they charge you higher prices or insist on better, more favorable terms, they're lowering your profits. Back to our formula. Profits are equal to price minus cost. If they raise prices, profits go down. Now, do you have a strategy to beat a powerful supplier? Now, before I tell you how we do it, I want you to know I'm not anti-Google or Facebook. What I am is platform agnostic. We very much use Google and Facebook, and so should you. But what you need is a strategy that offsets their power, a strategy that enables you to get what you want without them controlling your profits. So when we have the targeting, and we own it and control it, then it's portable. So for example, when we upload our targeting to Google, and when we do, we get phenomenal results. Google and Facebook work on what's called a relevancy engine. They don't work on high bid. What they want to do is show a relevant ad to a prospect. They don't care about you as the advertiser. This is because the prospect will come back multiple times if the ad shown to them is relevant. This means the prospect comes back and does keyword searches. They come back to Facebook and spend more time, which means more opportunity for Facebook and Google to show more ads. If they're showing more ads to a prospect and you're not getting a high click-through rate, then Google and Facebook think your ad is irrelevant. Then they're going to charge you more per click. Now, if you upload targeting that is highly relevant, because we're only targeting the needles and not the haystack, people that are actively pursuing the services you provide, then you're going to get a higher click-through rate. Since Google and Facebook work on this relevancy engine, they're going to give you a lower cost. Now, if you're first and you're building value, you will have a better chance of getting better prices. Now, if you're not at the mercy of your supplier, then you'll be able to get a lower cost per quality lead. This is just one of the ways we can help you with a powerful supplier. That's just one. The next one is powerful buyers. These are your clients. Now, powerful buyers force pricing down. Demanding more value from you force you to lower your rates or give additional services. Lower rates, more incentives, bring profits down. It's very simple. If you have a limited pool of prospects, it forces you to give more favorable pricing, additional services, incentives go up while profits come down. This is exactly why you're not winning. So how do you offset powerful buyers? Now, here's the first thing. Now, if you control who's in market, knowing who's in market, then you don't have a limited amount of prospects to talk to. So our pipelines are always full. If we only have a handful of prospects, we're allowing them to dictate terms. If we have a small amount of leads, we're going to kiss up to them in fear of losing them. If prospects know this, then they are powerful buyers. We take their negotiating power away when they are not a few, but one of hundreds of choices for you. Now, secondly, and just as important as the first, we're able to start the conversation first with our prospect. At the beginning, when they're searching their problem, and we're building a relationship and having a digital conversation with them. It's very important now in 2018. We're building trust because at each step of the searching process, you're walking them through their problem, gaining their trust, therefore fostering a conclusion in their mind that you can get them to their destination. Now, this is something you can implement today in all your collateral, your landing pages, your websites, and all your marketing. Remember, prospects don't care about you. They care about their problem. They care about the result they do not have. They want to make the best decision possible to better their situation. This is why they research. They want to research before they hire a firm. These are not easy decisions. They're complex. They have consequences and ramifications. So the hiring cycle takes time. So in that window, there's a beginning, a middle, and the end. You have to meet them where they are, and that's in the research stage of their problem. It's so important to know where they are because it dictates how you will communicate with them. I didn't meet my wife and immediately ask her to marry me. I had to develop a relationship, had to develop trust, show her my value, show her the qualities she needed me to meet before marrying me. Now, as a business, as a firm, it's not much different. These prospects want to make a smart decision. They research, take their time, make a smart decision. Just the way you're spending time with me right now listening to these videos, you want to make a smart buying decision. You want to get a result you don't have. This is why you're listening to me right now. Threat of entry. Now, I'm sure there are plenty of new attorneys and new firms getting into the business, or other firms looking to expand into your specialties. New firms means new rivals, new alternatives. These are all trying to dig into your profits. Services competing against yours. Substitutes. Now, these are the same thing. I can tell you in the marketing industry, there are tons of substitutes. Tons. You don't have to hire me. There are all sorts of substitutes that you could potentially do. Now, obviously, I think there's an advantage to using us over all these other things, but it goes back to what I'm saying from the beginning. If we're not communicating the value of what we do or offer, then how can you measure us against an alternative? Now, I'm sure there are plenty of firms providing the same basic services you provide, and what those firms are doing is robbing you of your profits. Now, when you're communicating with prospects, you have to be able to help them, to demonstrate how your value stacks up against the rest. One of the biggest problems we see from companies and firms is that they don't know how to identify their value. They don't know how to express an effective value proposition. The value proposition you offer answers the question, if I'm your ideal prospect, why should I hire you? The center of appeal is one. So tell me, why should someone hire you? And it has to be something that they want. Now, we know they're looking to solve a problem or get a result they currently don't have. You can say something like, we care about our clients. And yeah, that's appealing, but it's not what they want. If my house is on fire and you're the first one to get there, I appreciate it, but if you can't put out the fire, what good are you to me? So just because you're the first doesn't make someone choose you. It's valuable, but it's certainly not going to deliver the solution to the problem or produce the result I don't have. So when we get on the phone, I'm going to ask you what your value is and help you identify that value and the level of exclusivity you carry. The greater the appeal, the greater the exclusivity, meaning that they can only get it from you, because that overlap is a powerful only factor. You use these only factors to answer the question, if I'm your ideal prospect, why should I hire you? I'm more than happy to help you identify the only factors and help you express it, because there are very simple things that you can do, and I'll give you two right now. You and a competitor can match value on every dimension except one. On that one, you need to excel. Marketing starts before a product is even built, because you built that product specifically to solve someone's problem. When you look at things you offer, you have to ask yourself, is it important? Is it relevant? Is it urgent? From explanation comes clarity. If you have authentic value, then clarity trumps persuasion. You don't have to persuade people, you have to educate them. Communicate with people. Help them see and understand it before they can even consider it. I ask companies and owners and firms to shop their own company. Call up and ask, if I'm your best candidate, why should I consider hiring you rather than your competitor? Ask people in your firm the same thing. Look at your website, look at your collateral. It's different every single time. Every prospect has motivation, and it's the single greatest factor in someone saying yes. Motivation is the outcome, the solution to the problem, the solution that delivers the result they want and do not have. You are on these videos because you want to be more profitable. Now that you've seen 2 videos, you know that being more profitable is not your problem. It's how do I beat the 5 forces in order to become more profitable? The answer is you need a better strategy that directly attacks the 5 forces. In the next video, I'm going to tell you where all sales and hiring starts. Now it's 2018 and the hiring process starts long before they pick up the phone and call you. The hiring starts way before. You need to meet them there. I'm going to show you where there is. Now email me when you're ready for video number 3. Thank you.